Hey guys, welcome back to V-La-Nessa. Now this video is a long awaited video. I was supposed to get it out before the tax season, but due to circumstances I couldn't. I got to help someone last night and I figured more than less, let me use our laptop and screen record it. So I'm just gonna walk you through. It is not rocket science, I'm just gonna show you. And this is the first time the person is applying for taxes, so it's going to be a little bit different from those who applied already, but practically it's the same thing. It's not hard. It's 1 2. So I'm going to go through this and explain it to you, and then at the end I'm going to tell you some important stuff, so stay tuned for the important stuff. You need to know this if you're going to let anyone file your taxes. If you're paying, you need to know this, so stay tuned until the end. So guys, first you go to TurboTax. TurboTax is what I use. If you don't want to use TurboTax, you can use H&R Block, but TurboTax is what I use. You're going to create an account. You're going to see the sign in option. When you see that sign in option, you may try to enter your email address and you realize that you don't have an account with TurboTax. So it's going to ask you to create an account. Now, creating an account is 1 2. All you need is your email address, phone number, password, and your username. The reason why they ask you for your email address twice is to ensure that you didn't type the wrong thing the first time. So when you enter it, it's going to come up with a little tick mark. That means that the email address is good to go. Likewise, your username and the phone number. Then you create a password. Now it's going to ask you if you want to verify your phone number. You can do it now or you can do it at the end. Might as well you just do it now, just to get everything out of the way. When you click it, it's going to send you a code to your phone and then you type it in. Now your password is supposed to have 8 characters, an uppercase, a special symbol, and a number. So you can use @ you can use a $sign and a number. And for me, I would suggest to save it to your laptop because it's your laptop. And then the code will come once you click verify. When you enter the code, you'll click continue, and then it'll take you to a welcome page. So it gives you a welcome page and it tells you what to expect. Now here are the things that you may file for. So if you're a homeowner, you paid rent, but we don't really use those one, filing as an H2B. So it tells you all this stuff, and all you need to click is I have a job. If you have a dependent and they don't have a social security, it doesn't even make sense to do that. And then you can click that you're comfortable doing it on your own. Basically, they want you to pay them to do it for you or to help you along the way. But we don't need to do that. You can do it yourself. So we're going to click the file 0. If you realize down here, it's a file for 0. But at the end, you're going to pay for that one. Don't click that one. You're going to click the one at top because we don't want to pay them. Now, first, it's going to ask you, some basic question. What's your name, your date of birth, your last name, and your zip code. And I click live outside of US because we don't live in US. And we're going to continue. So you know all these stuff. You put it in simple. Put your name, your last name, your date of birth, and your zip code. You put the zip code of where you're presently working. And then you can go ahead and click I live outside of the United States, so that you don't have to come across any state question. There's a ton of question, like if you don't stand up strong, they're going to ask you a whole lot and you can't do that. It's going to ask you how did you file your taxes. So if you filed taxes before, you're going to click one of these, whether it be TurboTaxes or other person, or if it's your first time, you click I did not sign last year. It's going to ask you how you feel. You're going to click good. So basically it's going to ask you how do you feel in filing your tax. If you click good, then they'll leave you alone. If you click bad or you're not sure, they're going to want you to pay them to help for expert help, and we don't want that, right? Then it's going to ask you about your status, whether you be single, married, or it's complicated. So you can click single, okay? Then it's going to ask you about your dependent and all the other stuff that you need. If you're a college student, then you click the college student. If you're retired, then you click. If nothing, just go ahead. So did you have any of these, which is college? So for those who are doing J1, you would click the college expenses. If not, just click the job. I normally just leave all of those stuff, click the job, and press continue. Then it's going to ask you about that. Keep going. It's pretty straightforward. We just need to, you're okay, you put review and you're signed. So basically they want to know if you're okay with sharing your information with TurboTax. And if you don't understand something, you can always go to help, and then a screen will pop up and it will give you more information. So basically you put your name, your full name, and you click agree. And you do this for both questions that they ask. You put your full name, click agree. And if you're married and you're filing jointly, then you will click that, but we're not married. And even if you're married like in Jamaica, don't do it, because your husband wouldn't have a social security and you're not filing together, so you're going to file separately. So we did that one, now we're going to do the other one. We're going to put our full name again, and then we're going to click agree. Okay? Sometimes it takes a little while. And the thing with TurboTax is they give you like a time period and tell you, hey, the goal is 20 minutes. And they're telling you it's pretty much simple. You don't need to spend a whole lot of time to do your taxes. So it's like a little fun game thing. And they're going to ask you a little bit more details, well, obviously, because we have not put anything else. So it's going to ask you for your, not only is going to ask you for your name, but it's going to start asking for your social security, your occupation, so whether you be a server, your housekeeper, it's going to ask you for those stuff, and then you're going to put it in. And then all of the other questions that they ask after this would be no, because you're not a member of the army. No one is filing it for you, you're filing it for yourself. So everything after this you would put no. Okay? Now if you can read, you realize that all of them is no. There's no one preparing it for you, you're doing it for yourself. And so just press no and continue. You can read along, and then you will understand why you click no. After you do all of that, then you click continue. Go to the next page. Now they're going to ask you for your mailing address, just in case IRS need to reach out to you. Like, so for instance, you put in the wrong bank information and the check bounce, they're going to want to reach out to you. I always suggest to put a address that you can get in contact, like maybe a family address or something. For the most part, people use their workplace, but ensure that you can get in contact with you, just in case the check would go there. Now for those who doing extension, you would probably be in different states, and it's going to ask you if you worked in another state. Yes, you're going to click yes. And for those states like Florida that didn't do state taxes, you don't even have to click it, because you're not getting any state taxes, so you can ignore that part. It's going to give you two options to choose for the address, and you click the recommended one. Okay? Now, as I said, if you had worked in previous states, then you click yes. If it doesn't give you any state taxes, you don't have to do it. At the end, you'll see at the state part, you would have to go through all the questions, and then you realize you're not getting any money. Anyway, it's going to ask you to double check your information. Once you're pleased, then you click continue. Here it is again, asking you to pay. So we don't want to pay, we're going to say not now, not ever. Then it's going to start talking about your income, which is your W-2. You would have your W-2 on your computer in your email. What you're going to do, you're going to download it so that you can have it at hand. Now we're going to work on our W-2. Now for those who probably just claiming other stuff, you don't have to work on it. Now for the box B, it is on the W-2. You will see A, B, there it is. And then that number that is right there, that's the number that you will take and put it down in this right here. Now when you take it and you put it there, it's going to generate the company information, And it's good to split the screen so you can work it side by side so that you can take whatever you need to do. That is what I do. Sometimes you don't have to. If you have a good memory, just look on it and take it off and put it in. So we're going to do that, and we're going to continue, and then it's going to generate the information from W2. Now some of them don't generate the information while some of them do. Now this is an example of it generating all the information. So you're going to browse from your download, and then you put it in, and then it's going to take everything from there. And then what you do after that, you're going to double check that everything is correct. Once it's correct, then you can proceed. So you're going to double check the numbers, and if it's fine, you continue. Then it's going to go into a deeper where you see all the numbers. You're going to put it in and ensure that everything is correct if it looks okay. But sometimes you have to go down to the state and see that the state is in. Now if the state is not in, then you will have to put it in. But for Florida, you don't pay state tax, so that's okay. But here you put none of these because none of them really apply to you. Then it brings you here and it shows you what you'll get back so far. And then if you have more, you add the other one. And that is what we're going to do. We're going to add the other W2. Basically the same thing. For this particular one, it didn't generate the information. So I had to go in and put in A, B, C, and D, the wages, and then the state. Now for everything else, you don't have to put ensure that you put in 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and then the state information. Even though I tried to generate it, it didn't come up, and that happened. So I'm glad this happened so that I can show you how to. Now that looks good, but nothing didn't come, if you see. So now we have to type in all of that in the boxes. So I work on double screen, and I ensure that I see the numbers and I put them in. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm putting them manually. As I said, it happens, and that's just life. Ensure that you're putting the right amount in the right box. As you see, each box have a number. You have box 1 right here, and then you have 1 over this side, right? You have 2 over that side. So ensure that you're doing the same thing. And then the thing is, it rounds off to the nearest 10. So you see, if you have 82957, round it off to 8296. Okay, it rounded out to the closest 10. Now when you did all of that and put in all of that information, ensure to go down to the state part. This is where you're going to put in the employee ID, the wages, and the state amount. Then after that, you're good to go. And then you click continue. None of these apply. You click continue. Now you can take your time and read and understand, and as you realize, it sums up all of your W2 and all of your returns. And then you click continue. Now if you realize that the amount that you're getting back doesn't add up, once you start working over $12,800 and something or $950, the IRS start to take money out. What you can do is, if you not sure, you can always go back and ask IRS to explain, not IRS but TurboTax, to explain the money. Once they explain it, then you'll get an understanding. Like right here, it said explain my number. You see, you realize it's a refund so far $506. You ask them to explain, and you see where they're saying that your tax that you're gonna pay IRS is $136. This is how much you got. You paid $696, and that is how much you're gonna get back. So they break down everything, right? And if you still want more information, then you go to see details. You can also go back and double check on your W2, add them up and say, okay, it sounds right, it looks good, okay, that's that. And then you go back now and do that. As I said, you can always ask them to see more details, and if you're happy, then you just click continue, go to the next page. Now for most of the questions, you're going to click no. So this is no, you didn't take any disaster, whatever. Did you have a financial stake? No. Press continue. Because these are for like residents. You don't. It's going to keep asking you how you're feeling. You're good. You don't want no expert. So we're going to do a tax break. So for the tax break, it's going to do it practically itself. And then once you're happy, you just click continue. There it is. It says standard deduction is $12,950. So once you work over that, that's when you start paying IRS back. So you're going to see your refund decreasing starting from $12,950. Now for these questions, click no. You didn't own a home. No. Press 0 for all of them because you're not a citizen and these doesn't really apply to you as yet. You don't own a car. No. If you own a car, maybe you can do it. Your standard deduction, there you go. So you say, okay, sounds good. This is how they calculate the deduction. This is just the average. For this, you're going to click no. For all of them, did you have college? No. Did you pay student loan? No. Did you pay foreign taxes? No. Alright, we're going to click no for them because these are for all American. These doesn't apply for you. Did you contribute? No. No, I don't. Continue. Okay, and that's that. Continue. It's pretty simple, pretty fast forward. And then they're going to double check and then lifetime guarantee, accuracy, good. Ching ching, we found every tax break. Done with tax break. And then it's going to go into credits. Did you leave it and then just click no? As I said, most of the questions is going to be no. Most of the answers is going to be no. No. And then you continue. So now they're going to ask you to double check some information like your social security. Guys, it is very important that they ensure that your information is correct because when it sends over to IRS can either accept it or reject it. If they reject it, then you get a chance to fix it. But say for instance they accept it and then your information, your bank account was wrong. Then you're going to have a whole lot of issue because instead of it taking like 3 weeks, it's going to take months. So you don't want any wrong information. Ensure that you double check, and this is the reason why they ask you to input twice sometimes because they want to ensure that you are putting the information correctly. So don't copy and paste, ensure that you type it twice. Okay, and this is where you get to explain everything if you want to, but since I know that everything is good and I understand everything, I just click continue. Now after this, we're going to do the state tax. Guys, you see, it's simple, straightforward. Now remember, we didn't pay for Florida, but what we did pay for is South Carolina. So we're going to search for South Carolina state taxes. And it's good to also look back and search your W-2 to ensure that, okay, yes, I did pay for my state taxes in South Carolina, Maine, but I didn't pay for Florida. So guys, remember, you have a lot of person that went all over and work, so sometimes they have 6 different W-2. All you need to do is repeat the process. Repeat the process. So when you put in the state, it's going to calculate everything, and then it's going to ensure that all the information that you entered is correct, and then it's going to ask you for a little bit more information. Now when it's done, you click continue, and then now it's going to ask if you're a resident or a non-resident or a part resident. You click no. Right? It's going to ask you the country, so you say outside of America, and then you click continue because you're not inside of America. Click continue. For those who are here like us, we will be part-time, but it's best sometimes to just click you're not. Okay, so for the most part you're going to click no, continue. And when you put part resident, it asks you from what time to what time, and you can put how much days. And sometimes they say 180 days in this state, 180 days in the other state, but for this purpose I'm going to put no. And then practically you're done with state tax. It's going to ask you if you want to contribute. You don't have to contribute. Nobody's holding a gun at your neck, so just say no. It's going to ask you to double check. I know that everything is good, so I click continue. They found the issue, and this is the thing with TurboTax. If they find the issue, they're going to show it to you. So basically they needed me to check a box, so that is what I did. I checked the box and I clicked continued, and everything was good. Now if you had entered a number incorrectly and they picked it up on their system, they would have just come just like this and say, hey, you need to correct this, your social security doesn't match, and that is that. So we're done with state taxes, because remember, we didn't pay for Florida, we only paid for South Carolina. So it's the reason why we're only filing for South Carolina. When we're done all that, we're going to click continue, and they're going to review everything, ensure that everything is up to par and everything is Gucci. Okay, then you'll see your final returns. You see the federal amount, and then you see your state taxes. If you're good with that, you press continue. Here you go. It says you took 20 minutes. We were inside the 20-minute mark. That is good. We crushed it, right? But if I wasn't doing presentation purposes, I would have probably be like 8 minutes, because I know what I'm doing. I know what. And guys, they're going to always want to sell you their products. They say no, because we're doing it for free. Now, if you're filing for your student taxes, then you will have to pay for that once they realize that you're getting more credit. Now, here's the final part. You're going to put in your bank account. You're going to review it. Everything. This is a part that, you know, when you reach here, you come to an end, right? It's going to tell you how much you're supposed to pay, which, remember, we didn't use their expert help, so we're not going to pay anything. We're going to pay $0.00, and here's the billing information they're going to send it to. Then you're going to click place order. Remember, yes, you may see place order. Yes, place what order? It's $0.00. Don't be alarmed by it. If you see that you reach somewhere, you're paying for something, you need to go back and erase, and don't do that. Okay, so we did that part, and then now we're gonna put in our information to get back our refund. So you're gonna read here, nothing, get my refund early. No, we're gonna click other refund option, because if you want to get your refund early, they're gonna give it on a card, and you don't want that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down to direct deposit. And if you realize you have Credit Karma direct deposit, you don't want that one. We're going to go down to the direct deposit, and this is going to be directed into your bank account. Okay, and guys, you cannot, say for instance you don't have any accounts, you can use a friend account, but you cannot send taxes more than 3 times into one account. So you're going to put in the bank information, which is the name. You're going to click a checking or savings. You're going to put the routing number, and if you realize there's 2 boxes, confirm the routing number, and because they want to ensure that you are sure, so don't copy and paste, type it out. Then you're going to have the account number, put in the account number, don't copy and paste, type it out when you're doing the second one, so that you can know that it is correct. Right, once all of this is correct, then you're going to click continue. We're going to click continue, then it's going to bring it to a page to double check. Do you see how much time they're asking you to double check? Because they know that a lot of person get it wrong. So you're going to show, and yeah, so it's going to ask you also, how do you want to deposit your state tax? You also do direct deposit. Then you're going to put in the information is going to be already there, so you're just going to click continue, and we're done. So after the second step, we're going to go to the third step, which you're going to verify your email address. So the code is going to go to your email address, just to ensure that you type in the right email. Now, if you didn't get the code, then that means there's something wrong with your email. Once you get the code, then you're good. So they're trying to see that everything that you put in is good. So before you e-file, we need to know. So basically, they're going to ask you if you filed last year, or if you didn't file last year. So you're going to put no, I didn't. If you filed and you use the TurboTax, then you filed last year. Why they ask this is because if you filed last year, they would need your AGI, right? And this is why you're going to ensure that you ask for a 1040 form whenever someone files, because that's where you get the information. Say for instance, next year that person decide not to file for you anymore, or something happened to the person, then you have to get someone new. Then you're going to need your 1040 form to get the information from the previous year so that you don't have to start over a new account or anything like that. And you need the AGI if you filed last year for IRS to pull out back your file. Now if you cannot get it, then you'll have to mail your check basically. But if you didn't file last year, this is the easiest part. You just click I did not file last year. Or what you can do, if you cannot find the 1040 form and you don't know the AGI, you don't know the code, then you can add up your W2 federal and put it in, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, then it's going to ask you if you have a state tax or state ID or a driver's license. You're going to put I don't have any. It's going to ask you for a consent to e-file, and you're going to give them the consent. You're going to review your returns, ensure that everything is good. This is the 1040 form you're going to download. Right, we have not yet filed it yet, but I'm just showing you what a 1040 looks like. When you do that, you said finish filing format returns. Because I did that, I had to go all the way back. Then you're gonna click I want to e-file. E-filing means that you want if you didn't do e-file, you would have to print the documents at the 1040 form and mail it to IRS. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do it electronically. So you're gonna pick a code so that next year, if you don't have your 1040 or you don't have your W2s, pick a code that you remember next year. So I normally use the last 5 digits of my social security number, and I think you should too. Yeah, simple. And then you click continue. I'll probably use your phone number. Yeah, and it's going to ask you to verify some stuff, and after you did all that, then you're ready and go. You're ready to file. After you did all that, then you're good. And it's going to e-file your documents, and all you're going to do is just sit back and wait. Now, transmit my return, and there you go. Right? Now, after this, what you're going to do, you're going to sit back and wait until you get an email from IRS. So it's going to tell you if it's accepted or rejected. If it's accepted, then you're good. If it's rejected, then you're going to go back onto TurboTax and fix whatever needs to be fixed. It will come up and tell you to fix it, and then it will show you what is wrong. Maybe it's going to be a social security, maybe a date of birth, like those stuff. And yeah, that's practically it. Now guys, remember I tell you to stay to the end. So IRS is not someone to play with. And every year there's a lot of measures, there's a lot of strict measures put in place. Person that used to file last year are not filing this year because of the whole stress and trauma they went through or other reason, right? Now, if you're choosing someone to file for you, you have to ensure that you can trust that person. Because remember, you're giving that person almost your life. You're giving them your social security number. They need everything from you, your bank account, everything they need, right? Now, say for instance, this person is not going to clone you or use your information for anything wrongfully, but what they can do, they can take your money. If they have all of your information to put into TurboTax or any tax places, they can take your money. Instead of them putting the money into your bank account, what they can do, they can put their bank account so that whenever your refund is issued, it goes to their account, and then they get MIA on you, especially if you don't know who is behind the phone, you don't know who is doing your taxes. So guys, you have to be very vigilant. You have to be very careful, because there's many of times people file person taxes and they don't receive their money, and you'll be there calling IRS, and IRS is like, hey, I already sent out your money. Remember I tell you at the end, you can use your friend account. So if you can use your friend account, that means any account can be used. So guys, be very careful of who you ask to file your taxes. As you can see, you can do it yourself. It's not rocket science, so might as well you just do it yourself. Another thing, if you say for instance you file yourself, IRS may ask you to verify your identity. Now I'm going to leave a link down below, verify my identity. And what you can do, you can even do it before they even ask you, so that your money can come quickly. Last year, many persons had to verify their identity, and it took, even some person didn't receive their money until like 8 months, 6 months, because of the amount of person that is doing theft. Like, there was this one particular guy taking information from people, asking someone to file the taxes for the person, and then the person realized that it's the same account number that is being presented. And remember, I tell you, anything more than 3, you cannot do it. And the person realized that this person was not being honest. So more than likely he was just saying, hey, I can file taxes, and he cannot really file taxes. So he got the person to file the taxes, but using his account. So you see what happened to all of those stimulus checks? He got them. He probably tell the people probably got like maybe 1,600, and he told them that he only got back $600. So he practically robbed the people. So guys, try to do your thing yourself. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. If you have any more questions, you can leave it down below. All you need to do is just sit down, read, and you see, once you read and you have understanding, you can go through it. For those who are doing the school, all you need to do is put in your school information, and that's that. Okay, so take a little time, do it yourself. And I'm sorry for the late video. I don't know if I need to make it any clearer, but let me see. I'm gonna see how this editing come out. I'm gonna try to pause it so that you guys can understand. But yeah, be careful who you ask to file taxes. Just take a little time and do it. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your laptop. The reason why I was waiting for a laptop is because you can see it more visually. No, I'm going to get ready for work, and I try to edit it tonight so that you can get it tomorrow. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notification, so that whenever I release a new video, you can be the first to know. So bye.